Hey guys. So today we're going to just be talking about the indictment of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, if you don't know anything about them, they do a lot of work in dismantling hate groups, kind of like a tag team with the Anti-Defamation League and a few other groups to get shit done, right? However, today the Justice Department decided they're part of a conspiracy. So we are going to read through this indictment, see what happens. I've already been reading through some of it, but I will read through it with y'all, and then we're going to talk about it after, and we'll see if our friend Law of the Wild joins us as well. So I'm going through it. You can kind of see it down to the bottom right. If you want to follow along, I can send you an address. It is hard for me to read the chat. So if you do come in and you need to put something a lot, yell it at me a little bit because I'm going to be reading through this with y'all. Okay, so this is United States of America versus the Southern Poverty Law Center. Oh, thank you, Fancy. The grand jury charges. The Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, stated mission included the dismantling of white supremacy and confronting hate across the country. However, unbeknownst to donors, some of their donated money was being used to fund leaders and organizers of racist groups, including the KKK, the Aryan Nation, and the National Alliance. For TikTok purposes, I'm reading a legal document. The SPLC paid informants, or field sources, engaged in the active promotion of racist groups at the same time that the SPLC was denouncing the same groups on its website. So let's think about this real quick. I want to stop real quick right here within the introduction and just say this. When you are dealing with groups like this, whether it be gang members, anything within the vicinity of these type of groups, it is important to have sources on the inside. And yes, it does not matter. Sometimes those sources will be doing things that seems antithetical, but it is to enable them to gain more information. So I want y'all to think about that. Now, am I saying this is what happened here? No, because we got to read the indictment. We got to see what they say, but I'm just putting that out there for everybody to think about. Okay, we're getting back into it. The SPLC also had a field source who was a member of the online leadership group chat that planned the 2017 Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia. The field source made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. In order to covertly pay its field sources, the SPLC opened bank accounts connected to a series of fictitious entities. The covert nature of the accounts allowed the SPLC to disguise the true nature, source, ownership, and control of the fraudulently obtained donated money that the SPLC paid the field sources. In order to keep the scheme going, the SPLC made a series of false statements related to the operation of the accounts. This is talking about the organization. At all times relevant to this indictment, the Southern Poverty Law Center, Inc., SPLC, was a nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3 organization headquartered in Montgomery, Alabama, which is located within the Middle District of Alabama. Thank you. According to its website, the SPLC is a catalyst for racial justice in the South and beyond, working in partnership with communities to dismantle white supremacy, strengthen intersectional movements, and advance the human rights of all people. To carry out this mission, the SPLC relied in part on public and corporate donations, as the SPLC explained on its website. With your help, we're standing up for the most vulnerable people in society, those who have no other champion. We're exposing hate and injustice, fighting discrimination, and providing award-winning anti-bias material free of charge to schools across America. We never take legal fees from our clients, and we accept no government funding. Rather, we rely on the compassion and generosity of people like you. Objectively, that statement can mean 8,000 things, right? It doesn't say that we don't work with people inside groups to expose more people. It's none of that is said. Which justice is your favorite writer? Which is the worst? Oh, Ocean Wave. I got you. So Clarence Thomas is actually my favorite writer on the court. I know. Out of left field. I don't like Clarence Thomas as a justice, but as a writer, he's peak. The justice I find the most boring is going to be Alito and Kavanaugh. I'm not a big fan of Kavanaugh's writing either. Okay, so anyway, we're talking about this statement that they made here. Nothing within that particular statement seems to preclude the possibility that they could be working within groups to get more information, but we press on, you guys. 3, the SPLC website also explained to potential donors that your support powers our work to confront hate, stand up to injustice, and defend our civil and human rights. From the courtroom to the classroom to communities across the country, you can create a more just and inclusive future for all. If you have people getting into these clandestine groups, I'm thinking you're doing something pretty good, just thoughts, but whatever. Okay, anyway, these donations were used in part to fund various publications such as the Intelligence Report, Hate Watch, and the Intelligence Project Dispatch. The Intelligence Report was a magazine-like periodical published by the staff of the Southern Poverty Law Center Intelligence Project and provided free of charge to law enforcement officials, journalists, scholars, and others. Okay. Hate Watch was a blog operated by SPLC that monitors and exposes activities of the hard right in the United States. Blog topics include reporting on hate crimes and events, hate groups and individuals, lawsuits related to these topics. By providing SPLC with an email address, and a person could receive the latest updates from Hate Watch. And then the Intelligence Project Dispatch was a monthly online publication issued by the Hate Watch staff that monitors and exposes. Let's say this with me again, people. I want everybody to read this. Monitors and exposes white supremacy and its impact on communities. If you have people in these groups that are reporting to you, does that not seem like monitoring? Am I fucking nuts? Anyway, the header at the top of the publication further explains to readers that the Southern Poverty Law Center works to dismantle white supremacy in public forums and online, exposes hate and anti-democracy extremism, encounters disinformation and conspiracy theories with research and community resources. Research and community resources. Again, let's say it again. I swear to God, it's like they like to prove themselves wrong. But anyway, we'll keep going. We're going to press on. The top banner of the SPLC website had a link for public donations. By clicking the donate button, potential donors were brought to a webpage that explained how to donate money to SPLC. This page also informed donors that with your support, the SPLC Action Fund will pursue a bold action agenda to confront our country's most urgent challenges. Together, we will uplift progressive candidates who uphold inclusive democratic values while investigating and exposing candidates using hate and extremism to gain power. Fucking shocking. It's like, you can't write this shit no better. Anyway, so the SPLC's paid informant network, the IFs. Starting in the 1980s, the SPLC began operating a covert network of informants. Let's go right back up here. Where did it say that? Monitors and exposes white supremacy and its impact on communities. That's kind of given all this, but okay. So in the 1980s, SPLC began operating a covert network of informants who were either associated with violent extremist groups, such as the KKK, or who had infiltrated violent extremist groups at the SPLC's direction. And for the love of God, TikTok, don't take me down. Don't do it. This is a legal document. These informants were referred by some individuals within the SPLC as field sources, or the Fs. And if anybody's requesting, please put it in the comments because I cannot see it because this thing is taking up my whole screen. Anyway, so between at least 2014 and 2023, the SPLC paid their Fs in a clandestine manner. Well, what does that mean? You can pay people weird. That's not inherently illegal, but okay, buddy. I mean, it's not great to do that. I mean, do it on the up and up, but especially when you're dealing with stuff like this, like, it's a little bit more understandable. But either way, doing so hid the fact that while SPLC received donation money under the auspices that the funds would be used to dismantle violent extremist groups, this donation money was instead being used in part by the SPLC to pay leaders and others within the same violent extremist groups. The money was then used for the benefit of the individuals as well as the violent extremist groups. Okay. That's a bigger thing. Like, how are we getting from A to B there? I mean, obviously, if you pay somebody, you do know that that money is being used for your benefit, right? Or their benefit, sorry, if you pay somebody. But how do you know it filtered back into the groups? Because I'm curious now. And I agree on T-Dub. Between 2014 and 2023, the SPLC secretly funneled more than $3 million. That is a 10-year span and only $3 million. That really isn't shit, but oh fucking K. Secretly funneled more than $3 million in SPLC funds to Fs who were associated with various violent extremist groups. Yes, that's called undercover connections, especially when you're dealing with hate groups, gang violence, things like that, this is not unusual. And that's what I'm not understanding here. Like, this would not be an unusual practice, but okay, go off, government. Okay. Examples of Fs who were secretly paid by SPLC include, but are not limited to, the following. F-37 was a member of an online leadership chat group that planned the 2017 Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia, and attended the event at the direction of the SPLC. F-37 made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. Between 2015 and 2023, the SPLC secretly paid F-37 more than $270,000. F9 was affiliated with a neo-Nazi organization, the National Alliance, and served as an F for the SPLC for more than 20 years. F9's activities included fundraising for the National Alliance. Between 2014 and 2023, the SPLC secretly paid F9 more than $1 million. In 2014, F9 entered the headquarters of a violent extremist group. And let's just paraphrase this. This is part of what I had read a little bit earlier. Okay. He entered the headquarters of a violent extremist group. And this is after being with them for like 20-ish years. And stole 25 boxes of their documents. F9 coordinated payment for the copying of the materials with a high-level SPLC employee who had the knowledge the documents had been stolen. Oh, so now we're jockeying for, oh, somebody got their shit stolen. I fucking hate this. I hate it here. Anyway, the original stolen materials were returned to the violent extremist group in a second illegal entry by F9. Thereafter, the high-level SPLC employee utilized the documents in part as the basis for a story published on the SPLC's Hate Watch website and authored by the employee. Another F39, was blamed for the theft and was paid approximately $6,000 by the SPLC to falsely take responsibility for the theft. Okay, that's a little bit interesting, but regardless, you got to do what you got to do, right? F unknown was the F unknown. What the hell? They need a number. Was the Imperial Wizard of the United K's of America. In an article published on November 22nd, 2013, the SPLC described the group as a millennial reboot of what was once a serious domestic threat. In its prime, the United K's of America was responsible for, among other things, the 16th Street Baptist Church booming in Birmingham, Alabama, which resulted in the death or the unaliving of 4 little girls in 1963. That's fucking horrible. F27 was reported as an officer in the National Socialist Movement and the, I don't even know if I could say this on TikTok, A Nation affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club. Between 2014 and 2020, the SPLC secretly paid F27 more than $300,000. Like, there's all this dog shit in here, but it's like, I'm kind of glad somebody's watching these crazy fucks. F42, former chairman of the National Alliance, the SPLC website contained an extremist file webpage about F42, from which the SPLC solicited donations between 2016 and 2023, secretly paid more than $140,000. This overlapping time period in which F42 was featured on the SPLC's extremist file webpage. This is cray shit. Not what they did, but just like, I don't know. Y'all, I hope y'all are vibing with me. I'm curious about this. This is crazy as hell. F30 led the National Socialist Party of America, former director of A Nations, former member of the KKK or the Triple K. The SPLC website contained extremist file webpage for F30. 2014, secretly paid more than $70,000. This overlapped in the time period F30 was featured. F43 was the reported national president of the American Front, a convicted federal felon for his participation in a cross burning. Oh, that sounds like a fun guy. Between 2016 and 2019, the SPLC secretly paid F43 more than $19,000. F unknown, a member of the Triple K and married to an exalted Cyclops. Is this shit real? I feel like I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. And was married to an exalted Cyclops of the Triple K. F unknown and their spouse were involved in litigation whereby the Triple K applied to take part in the Adopt a Highway program. During the course of the litigation, known payments were traced from SPLC to F unknown, which exceeded $3,500. I'm telling y'all, man, these people are wild. They're like, you know what? People aren't equal, but goddamn it, let us clean this fucking highway. You know, like, what the shit? I'm sorry, I cannot with this dog shit. In addition, to directly paying leaders and others associated with the same violent extremist groups that the SPLC sought donations ostensibly to dismantle. But that's not all that they did. I swear to God, it's like these motherfuckers can't read. Okay, we're gonna go back up here. Your support powers our work to confront hate. Does everybody know what the word confront means? Any hoodles, stand up to injustice, defend our civil and human rights. From the courtroom to the classroom and communities across the country, you can help create a more inclusive future for all. It's like, again, they can't fucking read. Again, okay, so they didn't just say that we're going to dismantle, like, that's a goal, that's an end goal, but it's not the only fucking goal. And if you want to dismantle things, unfortunately, sometimes you got to have an inside man. Just lobbing things from the outside doesn't always do the job. Okay, so the SPLC also use Fs to indirectly funnel money to other violent extremist group leaders. Oh, this is a new one. This included the SPLC funneling more than $160,000 from a fictitious entity to F11, who then sent funds to various extremist group leaders, including former Grand Wizard of the, I fucking swear to God, we're back on Dungeons and Dragons. The former Grand Wizard of the Knights of the Triple K. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I need everybody to say it with me. Once you pay somebody, what they do with that money is sort of none of your business. Now, if you paid them specifically and you could prove it to move that money to those people, that's a little different. But if he was just like, I got some gambling debts I need to pay or what the fuck ever so I can like still be cool, well, fucking, you're at where you're at. Like, I hate to be like that person, but that is where it is. Any hoodle, toaster strudel. Let's get moving. The SPLC fictitious entities to secretly funnel donated money to the Fs. Okay, I want to preface this by saying, groups like this don't always move in a way that feels normal to us. These are groups that are going to be checking where you get your money from. These are groups that if they can find out, they will find out. This is not a group like you're going to interview at, your local regular business and they're just like, and you kind of fudge on your resume a little bit and they're just like, okay, cool. No, this doesn't work like that. So if you're getting paid a direct check from the Southern Poverty Law Center and they find out about it, you're going to be in a little bit of a pickle. So again, fictitious entities to secretly funnel donated money to the Fs, and I don't think it was secret, it's just the way that they had to end up going about it. Individuals at the SPLC, including a person who would become the Chief Financial Officer, Employee 1, and a person who would become the Director of the Intelligence Project, Employee 2, among others, opened a series of bank accounts at Bank 1, Bank 2, in the name of various fictitious entities, including but not limited to. Okay. Center Investigative Agency, Fox Photography, Northwest Technologies, Tech Writers Groups, and Rare Books Warehouse. These fictitious entities were never incorporated. They don't have to. Did they have did they have a business license? I mean, maybe you could get them on that, but they don't have to be incorporated. That's not a demand. But anyway, had no bona fide employees, had conducted no actual business. at all or maybe it is relevant in the 501c3 aspect. That's a law question. I hope he gets in here soon. I'll ask him because now I'm curious. These fictitious entities were never incorporated, had no bona fide employees, conducted no actual business. At all times relevant to this indictment, Bank 1, Bank 2 were issued by the Federal Deposit Insurance. That's fucking dumb. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, now we're in the counts. Now we're into the actual charges of what are they fucking charging them for. And I cannot state this a fucking enough. I want to be so very, very, very clear. There's a reason that the saying, you can indict a ham sandwich, is a thing. This is the reason why when I argue with Trumpers, I never argue with them about Trump's indictments because goddamn it didn't go through the court. And it's only the prosecutor, or at least in most senses, it's only the prosecutor that's presenting that case. It's really easy when you only have one side of a story to indict somebody. It's a lot harder to convict them. So I'll set out with that, and we're going to go through. We got counts 1 through 6, wire fraud. The facts being set out in paragraphs 1 through 16 are fully incorporated in these counts. Beginning on or about 2014 and continuing through at least August 2023, in the Middle District of Alabama, the defendant, Southern Poverty Law Center, devised and intended to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud donors and attempted to do so to obtain money and property belonging to donors by materially false and fraudulent pretenses, representation, promises, and omissions. Okay, couple of things. I feel like that statement wasn't vague. While they're not going to tell you, like, listen, we're out here putting plants in the community, they don't necessarily have to tell you that. But they did say that they want to actively confront. So, like, I don't understand what the problem is. This seems like dog shit already. But anyway, get back into it. Purpose and scheme and artifice. The objective of the scheme and artifice was to obtain money. And if you're requesting, please let me know because I cannot see my request button. You got to put it in the comments. The objective of the scheme and artifice was to obtain money via donations through materially false representations and omissions about what the donated funds would be used for. To carry out this scheme and artifice, the SPLC explicitly sought donations under the auspices that donor money would be used to help dismantle violent extremist groups. Do they think like groups get dismantled by just a wish, a hope, and a prayer? Like, what are we talking about here? It's kind of like there's a lot of ways to get to an end result. I don't know. Anyway, in the SPLC's solicitation for donation, as outlined herein, donors were not told that some of the donated funds were to be used by the SPLC to pay high-level leaders of violent extremist groups and others, nor were donors ever told that some of the donated funds were used for the benefit of the violent extremist groups, or that some of the donated funds would be used in the commission of state and federal crimes. Well, why would you tell a donor that? You can't prevent bad people from doing bad things, and they still haven't alleged that any of these people or these Fs broke the law. Like, that's still not what they've said at all. Just for fucking clarity here. Oh, hi, Law. We're reading the indictment right now. Let's see. Okay. Commission of State and Federal Crimes. Wire communication. On or about April 25th, 2023, Middle District of Alabama, elsewhere, defendant. You can come up whenever, Law. We're just, We're just reading through this. I'm just reading through the counts real quick. Oh, my bad. I can't see my guesty box. Okay, I think I gotcha. Give me one sec. Did I get you? Okay, I did. What's
You got me.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, I heard you say what, and then it went dead, so sorry.
Oh, no, I was just like, what's up, law?
Yeah. Yeah, read through the indictment. Very, very interesting. Just going back to comment on the first part. Yeah, they're relying on like their mission statement as far as what was communicated to donors. What they don't say is that any donors have actually come forward and said that they were misled.
I know I remember I was texting you earlier and I was like, this reminds me of that, what is that Women's Resources Center case that we heard where like nobody likes anti-abortion clinics, but also nobody's bitching about their donations. Like, what are y'all talking about?
Right.
Well,
So something big and glaring missing here is they're maybe they think they're white knighting for the donors, but have how many of the Southern Poverty Law Center's donors have come forward and said, "Oh my God, they're using their funds in ways that we didn't anticipate," and that's important here because you don't know that their donors wouldn't have been happy with finding out that they were paying people to infiltrate extremist groups. Maybe that's exactly what they were hoping would be done. So
I
it's a crazy allegation to make.
I'm just saying I never have and I never will. I donate every year to the Southern Poverty Law Center. I believe in it. That's why I was like, oh, what's next? The Anti-Defamation League? Is that where we're gonna go next time? Because they got big sad? Like, I don't know. I think they just have beef with them. Oh, this is what I was going to ask you about because it says like the SPLC is a catalyst for racial justice in the South and beyond, working in partnership with communities. Like, did they think only good communities were part of the communities you work with when you're trying to get rid of racism? And also, dismantle doesn't have one standard way that you go about it. Like, I would think any type of hate group would be similar to like gang. You would need somebody on the inside. It's similar to like what sometimes, like police shows or whatever you see, like somebody kind of like infiltrates or whatever. That makes sense to me. I think it's a smart use of my money. I don't
Well,
know if you agree.
nobody. I don't see the Trump administration filing charges against Project Veritas for, infiltrating, all of the abortion groups and different undercover camera things that they've done.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. Like, I'm literally, they go through all these F's, and then like I'm getting to the bank stuff. Like that was what I was kind of getting into, and I'm like, this was what bothered, and maybe you could tell me more about this. It says these fictitious entities were never incorporated. You don't have to be incorporated though, right? Like you could just have a business license.
Yeah, or a DBA if you're doing
Yeah.
doing business as. And if I recall, at one point, like they say that the CEO actually like admitted that they were his. So then if the CEO is making those admissions, then they're not undisclosed. So it's contradictory in and of itself.
Well, what I didn't like is that like they're trying to put something on this sort of business aspect of this, but like I was explaining to the chat earlier, and this like fundamentally bothered me. These are not groups you want to fuck with. This is not like going and applying at the grocery store. If these people can find out your information, and look, I'm not like touting them as just some baddies or anything like that. There's a reason they exist as long as they have. There's a reason that they're violent extremist groups. That's not the group that you want to go in and have a bank statement saying that, the Southern Poverty Law Center wrote you some checks. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, and like I think all of the transactions were like under $5,000, yet they're this alleging of some multi-million dollar fraud scheme, and they have like 5 or 6 transactions that total just 10 to 20 grand or whatever it is.
I am really struggling to sort of like see the fraud here because none of this and I try to be like reasonable. Like if I would have read this and been like, oh no, this is some real fuck shit, like I'm not supporting them anymore, I would more than happily say it. But I'm struggling to find actual fraud. I'm finding I didn't like the way that you went about this, but I'm not seeing fraud. Does that make
Well,
sense?
and they're going to have to tie each transaction to a specific, fraudulent communication or a fraudulent act, and the indictment doesn't spell that out. It just says here's some suspicious transaction. So keep
Yeah.
going through the count two, and maybe we'll find some more.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. Okay. So okay. So we're in wire communications now. On or about April 25th, 2023, in the Middle District of Alabama and elsewhere, the defendant, Southern Poverty Law Center, for the purposes of executing and attempting to execute the scheme and artifice set out in these counts, did cause to be hold on, that read wrong for me. Attempting to execute the scheme and artifice set out in these counts did cause to be transmitted in interstate commerce by means of wire communications certain signs and signals. Specifically, the SPLC caused interstate wire communications between Alabama and other states through the use of the automated clearinghouse system. What the fuck is that?
It's just checks.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like, wait, what? Which was utilized to transmit an ACH batch transfer from bank one to various bank accounts utilized by the F. It just sounds like they were paying their fucking employees, but either way, specifically, $13,905 was caused to be transmitted by the means of wire communication and interstate commerce in the writing sign signals described below for each count, each transmission constituting a separate account. Oh, Jesus. I'm not reading through all these. It's boring as shit. I'm sorry. I love you, law. I'm not reading all these out. It's ridiculous. But I will say that the highest transfer of the 6 that they have listed is $4,750.
Yeah, and who were the recipients of those?
Okay, let's see. Being one, there was so the almost $5,000 went to F9. The $1,000 went to F11. 1,200 went to F35. 3,090 went to F37. 2,865 went to F40, and then another 1,000 went to F42. And it says all in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1343.
Wire fraud. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we don't know who the Fs are yet. So that'll have to be coming.
My favorite ones are the F unknown ones. Like it literally says F and then dash unknown. I mean, like that could be cool for some people, but I'm gonna at least need them to put a fucking number on it, okay? Okay. So sorry. Counts 7 through 10, false statements to a federally insured bank. On the facts set out in paragraphs 1 through 16 are fully incorporated in this court. On or about the dates listed in the chart below, the Middle District of Alabama, the defendant, Southern Poverty Law Center, did knowingly make false statements on applications to a federally insured bank in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1014. Let's see, overview. As described in paragraphs 14, 15, individuals at the SPLC opened bank accounts for CIA, Fox Photography, Northwest Tech, and tech writers at Bank One. Similarly, the individuals at SPLC opened a bank account for Rare Books at Bank Two. The purpose of opening these bank accounts for fictitious entities was to be able to conduct financial transactions that made it appear as if the Fs were receiving money from fictitious entities rather than receiving donated funds from SPLC. That's a huge allegation, and I wonder how they're surmising that, but needless to say, I'll go on.
Yeah. So later on, though, they have a document that that these accounts were opened up for that it was disclosed that these were opened up for SPLC operations. So what I'm curious is like, so the CIA is it's like a center investigative agency.
Mm-hmm.
So this can be not fraudulent if it's going to depend, and these are just the allegations. So the response should help clear this up. Is were these DBAs that were created because that's perfectly legal, or were they just internal account identification? So like you can have a main business account, and then you can have sub accounts of your business account that are operating under certain divisions. The bank knows that it's connected to the top, and sometimes companies will do this to, if they write a check, they do it out of a particular division. So that if you're working in a sensitive area or something like that, you don't want your main business name to be
listening.
exposed.
I just got to
it.
turn
So,
on my fan law. I promise I'm listening.
yeah, no worries. You're good. So yeah, it will, the response should help clear this up, because I know at least one of the documents they have is like the SPLC says, hey, yeah, we opened up these accounts, and if that's the case, then they're not fictitious unless they made a material false representation to the bank, and that's not claimed here. It's just claimed that they violated 1014 by opening these accounts, but they don't say what the false pretenses were.
Sorry, I totally didn't. I was looking like I was on my cell phone, and I was gonna hit to open my mic back up, and then I was like, "Oh my God, you're on your computer,
studio,
dummy."
babe.
I know, babe. But anyway, yeah, and now I can't even remember my point because I got distracted by not knowing how to open my mic on studio. It's been a great day, y'all. Okay, let's get back into this. All right, okay. So after the accounts were opened, the SPLC, through Employee One, among others, executed sole proprietorship resolution of authority documents with Bank One. So, what does that mean in English, law? Please help.
Read that again.
Okay. After the accounts were opened, the SPLC, through Employees One, among others, executed sole proprietorship resolution of authority documents with Bank One.
Yeah, so that's just that the person who the employee of SLPC that opened up that account was basically the main account holder.
Okay, yes. Never, ever, ever. I don't even care if I go to never, ever have me do anything financial, because I'm be sitting here reading this shit like, I don't know what the fuck that says. Anyway, okay, back onto it. Cass is just dumb. Anyway, these documents contain sorry, y'all. These documents contain false and misleading information regarding the ownership and control of the fictitious entities for which the bank accounts were opened. Wait, but how? I don't understand how, okay, if Employee One created the account and said it was a sole, is it because it was paying out somebody else, or?
Yeah, so I mean, this is an indictment. It's kind of like a semi-speaking indictment. They're not laying out the whole case here. They're just laying out the allegations. So they at least believe they have evidence to support this claim. So, but it's not in the paper here.
No, I got you. I just, yeah, I went through it earlier. They don't even need to get me started on how I feel like you could probably indict a ham sandwich. I'm not saying it's super easy, but It's only the prosecution side, so.
Grand juries are, whenever I hear grand jury indictment, I'm like, so what? Because they're allowed to use inadmissible evidence. So stuff that's not admissible in court, they can present that to the grand jury. They can present hearsay to the grand jury. They can present evidence that they don't actually have, but they make a claim that they believe they can get it. So getting a grand jury indictment is nothing to write home about.
I love that your boy Teddy is in here. That's freaking amazing. Go Teddy. It's
President
like,
of my fan club,
that is your
Teddy.
biggest fan. Like, I'm your paralegal, but Teddy's your biggest fan. And Teddy, if you're not in the Discord, bro, get in the Discord. Or maybe you're a girl. I don't know. Like, I'm not judging. No judgment here. Or whatever you want to do. But like, yeah, you should be in the Discord because Law would love it if he had his own personal Discord glazer. I just yell at him on there.
That's true.
It is true. I'm
right.
nice to you sometimes.
Keep plugging away.
Okay. All right. I'll get back into this and be serious. Okay. Documents contain false and misleading information regarding the ownership and control of fictitious entities for which the bank accounts were opened. Employee 1 and others sign these documents containing false and misleading statements for the benefit of SPLC.
So they still have to tie this to unlawful activity. Yeah. So in order for it to be money laundering, they have to prove that there was underlying criminal activity that these accounts were created for. And guess what? Hiring infiltrators is not a crime. So I can't wait to see the response to this.
Oh my God. If you get it,
allegations.
I know you'll get it before I will because I'm always just like 5 days late and $5 short on everything. So send it to me immediately.
Like, yeah, I signed up for Pacer notifications. So I'll get it.
I should probably actually get Pacer. I just refuse because I can usually find them somewhere else.
Yeah, it's usually good on Court Listener, but yeah, sometimes even Court Listener, something like this, I think there's going to be enough people paying attention that Court Listener will get you the updates pretty quickly.
Oh, listen, earlier me and PBS were beefing because I usually love PBS because they're really great about linking documents. I go through like 5 different sites before I found this one. I was a little upset, but to be fair, it was brand new. So, and a lot of times Kyle Chaney will link it on Twitter if it's something big. So I'm like, I got this. Okay. On or about the dates listed below, the following false or misleading statements were made to an FDIC insured financial institution. I'm not going to read off all of these. But I'll read off one. Employee 1 certified that I am the sole owner of the above named proprietorship, federal tax ID number, 9788, engaged in business under the trade name of Center Investigative Agency. That doesn't seem odd at all. Am I wrong? Like that.
So that could be a problem, not for money laundering, because again, money laundering has to be for an underlying criminal activity. So I don't know if there's a charge for making a misleading statement. I imagine it's not that severe. But if he is saying he's the sole proprietor of it, but he's actually, it's actually, a DBA and he's acting at the direction of the SLPC, that could be a problem. But in order to be money laundering, they still have to prove underlying criminal activity.
Let me see. I think they may have listed the charge for that if I could find it again. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I have it printed out Attorney Dye style because I was all over here with my highlighter earlier. Hold on. Financial institution. It says it's all in violation of Title 18 United States Code 1014. I have to go look that one up. It's not on my back burner. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to read off the rest of these because I think we kind of get the idea. but they're all noted as a document type, sole proprietorship, resolution of authority. Let's see. In 2020, Bank One conducted an internal investigation in these accounts. Thereafter, an SPLC employee requested that Bank One close the account associated with the CIA and Fox Photography, Northwest Tech, and Tech Writers, and transfer the remaining balances in these accounts into a Bank One account ending in 6050, held in the name of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Well, that's
All right.
probably not great, but okay.
I mean, it just depends on if the falsity of the statements. So
Yeah.
right now the government is saying the statements were false, but SLPC will have to say, because maybe he was the director of the Center for what was it, something investigations, their CIA.
Yeah.
Maybe he was appointed the director of that, and he was the sole proprietor of it. So they'll have a chance to make their response.
It's probably going to be good. They've got some good
It
attorneys.
is interesting though that normally there's individuals that are associated with this. Right now, the lawsuits or the charges are only against the SLPC and it lists employee 1, employee 2, CEO, but it doesn't say like unindicted co-conspirator. That's typically the language you would use if these individuals were being presumed of of any alleged criminal activity.
Interesting. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to follow on all of this. It says, in response to Bank One's internal investigation on or about September 9th, 2021, the president and chief executive officer of the SPLC, as well as the board chair of the SPLC, admitted the following in writing to Bank One. Pursuant to the discussions we had earlier this week, please let this correspondence serve as confirmation that the accounts listed below were open for the benefit of the Southern Poverty Law Center operations and operated under the center's authority. The following accounts are listed below. And then you have Center Investigative Agency, Fox, Northwest Technologies, Tech Writers Groups, Imagery Inc., J&J Electronics, Kelly's Marine, and Turner Personnel. And he also says, additionally, this will confirm that the entity Rare Book Warehouses operates under center authority as well.
Well, there goes your mens rea.
Yeah.
Because they disclosed everything to the bank. If you disclose everything, it's not a knowingly false statement. So maybe the bank thought, hey, this is a little bit weird. And we're going to go through. So you actually have to prove that the intention behind making these fictitious entities was a criminal intent. If there's any other reason that they could have done this for that was not criminal in nature, then you don't have any mens rea for any criminal activity. So this actually hurts the feds. I'm kind of surprised they put this in here, because if they were in discussions with the bank about the ownership of their of the accounts, then this isn't like some sort of post-investigation thing that they're like, oh crap, we got caught, so we better clean up our tracks. They were proactive about correcting any potential misstatements that were made. So this actually hurts the government more than it helps them.
It was a grand jury indictment in Middle Alabama. Let's be so clear about where we're at. I will be that hater. Like, I will. And like, I'm in Texas, so I'm not like tooting my own horn either or anything. But like, these people don't know. They just heard the prosecutor give them some shit and be like, yep, dude sounds guilty. Like, that's pretty much probably what it was, if I had to guess. I don't mean to undersell. Like, grand jurors are just meh. Like, if it's a real juror, I'm probably not going to do that. But I don't even think a grand jury's is real at this point. I think they're ridiculous. Probably not a great attitude, but I have my reasons. Okay, so count 11. Conspiracy to commit concealment money laundering. Lord, the facts set out in paragraphs 1 through 16, as well as in paragraphs 26 through 28 and 30 through 31, are fully incorporated in this court, beginning in or about 2014, continuing through at least 2023 in the Middle District of Alabama and elsewhere. The defendant, Southern Poverty Law Center, did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with persons known and unknown to the grand jury to commit concealment money laundering in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1956 A1BI. Jesus. Okay. It was the objective of this conspiracy to conduct financial transactions designed to conceal the true nature source ownership and control of fraudulently obtained donated money the SPLC paid to Fs. Okay, I'm sorry, but hasn't that all kind of gone out the window since Southern Poverty Law Center said, yeah, this was part of our shit? It's not really a conspiracy anymore, is it? You're muted if you're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. They're yet to prove an underlying crime or allege even an underlying crime other than misuse of donor funds, which may not even be a crime, because they're going off of the mission statement and this presumption that the donors didn't anticipate these expenses.
I low-key can't wait for like just discovery on this and everything else. Like if this even moves, because I'm here for this. I'm going to be the 13th juror on this one too, Law. I'll be the 13th juror on this one and the David case. Those will be my two. Because now I'm just like, what the fuck? Let's see. After donated funds obtained via wire fraud scheme alleged in counts 1 through 6, individuals at the SPLC transferred proceeds of wire fraud schemes from the SPLC's operated bank account to another account at Bank One in the name of CIA, transferred to accounts and blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of like, they're transferring it between accounts. Like, that's all this is really saying. And I don't want to read the rest of it because it's just absolute dog shit. It sounds like, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm going to throw this out there. It sounds like they had concepts of the legal system and they put down a bunch of shit like wire fraud and conspiracy and fraud and thought it like sounded neat, but didn't think about the fact that this is going to be actually really fucking hard to prove, especially when you're dogging yourself in your own grand jury indictment. Like, I read the beginning of this and I was like, you cannot write this shit better. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
I think they just wanted the headline that that the SLPC has been indicted.
But why? Like, what purpose does that serve? Like, I don't know. There's just so many. Like, I would have, like, indicted Jack Smith. Like, you know, or something. Like, I'm not saying they should, right? But, like, if I were going to get a headline, I'd have been like, I'm going after Jack Smith. Or, like, I'm going to arrest Obama or some shit, you know?
Well,
like, leave
I mean,
SPLC alone.
I mean, the SPLC has identified like the American Immigration Council and the FAIR as, you know, as hate groups. And those are the people that have been, you know, the biggest proponents of misinformation related to, you know, Trump's immigration activities. So they're definitely not friendly to friends of the administration. So I'm sure that has some weight on this.
Yeah, that's fair. Literally every time I have to deal with people bringing up their dog shit, I'm just like, I don't even think y'all know how to count. One of their studies literally counted in the offspring born in America from immigrants as immigrants. That's not how that works.
Yeah, they count the services that American citizens who are the children of alleged undocumented immigrants as expenses
Mhm.
when they're fucking American citizens.
I know. I hate it here. Like, what the fuck? Um, there's not much more in this indictment. I will be live tomorrow morning for Blanche v. Lau, which is, I can't even read it right now. Hold on. Apparently, under 8 USC 1182, various categories of aliens, including those who have been committed or been convicted of crimes, are ineligible to be admitted in the United States, subject to removal. A lawful permanent resident, LPR, who is returning to the United States after a trip abroad is generally not regarded as seeking admission into the United States and is therefore not typically subject to inadmissibility grounds in Section 1182A. That general rule does not apply to an LPR who has committed an offense identified in this section 1182A2, an offense that would render him inadmissible. The question presented is whether to remove an LPR who committed an offense listed in section 1182A2 and was subsequently paroled into the United States. The government must prove that it possessed clear and convincing evidence of the offense at the time of the LPR's last reentry into the United States. And that was a mouthful. But that's tomorrow. We'll find out. If you got anything else?
I found the judge who this case is assigned to, Emily Marks. I'm looking up to see who she was appointed by.
Trump. In 2018.
Okay. I'm looking up her history real quick to see.
I love it. Law's over here getting tea on the judge.
It's you can kind of glean so labor and employment, civil rights litigation, and appellate practice. Practiced in Montgomery, Alabama for 20 years. Let's see. Her Wikipedia. Spring Hill College and the University of Alabama. Wonder where that law school ranks.
Please go find out. Please, I need to know. Is she Pam Bondi level or are we above or below? I got to go to Spring Hill. I think I get in.
Let's see. I'm looking to see if she was blue sheeted in by the senators there. Let's see. Membership, Federalist Society. Since 2017. So she got appointed to the bench and then joined the FedSoc. That's interesting.
I mean, why not just join it for kicks, man? I hang out there all the time, my local Federalist Society. We don't even have one here, but yeah, or we may. I don't know. My town's small, so.
Her employment record. Barbary Bar Review. Oh, she was a student advocate. She worked for a county library, a couple of different law firms, Office of the Alabama Attorney General.
Hey, trees. Oh my God, it's fucking hot. I gotta turn my AC on. I'm over here sweating. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh my God, I'm gonna put a lockbox on that thing. My kid turned the heater on. I was over here dying and I'm like, God, why is it so hot? Is it because I'm wearing like a sweater? And I normally wear a sweater. So I'm like, it can't be that. Oh, Lord. Vanilla, we are not just starting. We had already gone through the indictment. It's interesting. That's what I can say. It's
pretty thin.
words. It's words. Sorry, go ahead, Law.
No, just saying it's pretty thin. So we'll have to the response should be pretty interesting. And then we'll see. There's going to be an inevitable motion to dismiss, and we'll see how that goes. Looking at some of her litigation history, 10 most significant cases. Arlington versus Courtyard. So, wrongful death action brought against an apartment complex and its management company. I represented the apartment complex and the management company and filed a motion to dismiss. Okay. Let's see. This case arose out of the termination of 3 plaintiffs for their employment with the Marine Resources Division of the Alabama Department of Conservation. They were GPS tracking them and fired them for not doing their job. Okay. Redeem property. Yeah, like she does not have any criminal law experience whatsoever. This is fascinating.
Shocking. Underqualified, like every one of Trump's. Well, I'm sorry, not everyone, but a lot of Trump's recommendations. Oh my God. No, I don't know why this like got me thinking about this. Next Monday, Chattery versus US is about geofencing warrants violating the Fourth Amendment. I'm actually excited for that one. I think I'm doing both cases that day. Yeah, I am.
That'll be a long morning.
Yeah, well, the Monsanto case is literally right after that, and I don't know. I kind of want to listen to that.
So University of Alabama is ranked 40, so it's not too bad. Way better than Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche's law schools.
Wait, where did Todd Blanche go to law school?
God, I looked it up.
I'm gonna make you look it up again.
Yeah.
It's okay, Law. I gotta put you to work, you know?
He went to Brooklyn Law School. And that is ranked. Let's see. That is number 105 in U.S. News and World Reports.
So we're moving down. Because Pam Bondi was at least 99.
99, yeah.
Listen, man, you know, you could have gotten somebody from like at least like Texas Tech. Like, Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so it's at least a little bit better pick for the judge here.
Oh, where did Ken Paxton go to law school? I legitimately have no idea. He's just an idiot, but where did he go to? I'm gonna have to look. That's gonna bug me. Ken Paxton Law School. Let's see. University of Virginia School of Law.
That's not a terrible one.
Yeah. See, he could have done better than Todd Blanche. I mean, I hate Ken Paxton, but
I think it's a top 10 one. Number 6.
Just saying. Could have solved this whole Texas issue, and I don't have to deal with their dog shit here. But I love that they're just like wasting Republican money. That makes me happy, like in my heart.
I haven't been paying attention. Has Todd Blanche been formally nominated as the AG, or is he still just acting AG?
He may still be acting, but I want to say that they nominated him formally. But hold on. Has Todd Blanche been formally appointed?
Yeah, every top 10 law school has somebody who graduated last in their class.
He's just appointed acting U.S. Attorney General, but I don't know anything further than that because we would still have to have a Senate hearing for him, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen anything like that. Like I just
Yeah, I know he definitely hasn't had confirmation hearings. I just didn't know if he had, because I know there's a lot of names being thrown around. So you still may get your Ken Paxton dream here.
It's not my dream. It's my nightmare. But
Nightmares are dreams, Cass.
you know what? I'm tired of you. Now that you got your degree and you know every fucking thing, okay? I'm tired of your shit. But yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so this indictment is dog shit. I'm hoping whatever the reply is like, y'all are fucking crazy and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I hope it gets dismissed, honestly, because this is the loosest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I mean, maybe they have more. Maybe they really have a smoking gun that I'm just not aware of. But I feel like they might have thought to put that somewhere in this. And I just don't see it. I cannot tell you anything in here that is fraud other than maybe that thing about the bank thing that you were talking about. That's like a misleading statement that I wouldn't really call that all fraud, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, that might be something, but again, like if you make a misleading statement, or the difference between a misleading statement and a mistake is what was your intent behind doing it. And so if your intent was to conceal criminal activity, well, then that's a crime and they can get them on that. If your intent was, well, we've got these different operations that we're doing. We don't want checks being written out in Southern Poverty Law Center, so we're going to open up these sub accounts. And maybe he checked the wrong box on there, but without an underlying criminal motive, you don't have the intent element necessary to charge with a crime. So that'll be what it'll come down to.
Gotcha. Sorry, I have to stretch. Like, we've had rain on and off here, and my back is like ridiculous. But anyway, apologies. Okay, well, I'm hoping if you see the reply before I do, like, send it to me when you get it, because I'm now nosy and invested, so I'm here for all of this. But I don't really have much else. I guess I'll just run around on the TikTok streets and do dumb shit. But thank you for coming up, Law. I appreciate it. You clarified a lot of this for us, so it helps out.
Yeah, it's a banger for sure. I can't wait to see where it goes.
All right, hun. Thank you so much. I will see all of you later. I'll be on tomorrow morning for oral arguments, and we are doing an immigration case. So if you want to join for that, and everybody have an amazing night. Love you guys. Bye.